Alright y'all, let's do a quick what's going on in the shop here. We'll just do a few things this week. We got a bunch going on and I haven't put out any content in a long time, so let's get some things posted on here, see what y'all think of them. The first one I'm going to talk about is this one that's just been killing me lately. It's kind of a dumb problem on this poor little Volvo. And I wish I would have gotten a before shot for you, but I almost was ready to throw in the towel on this guy. But we would fire it up right here, and then it would say on the dash right there, it used to say service or Volvo service on call disabled, or service Volvo on call, I'm sorry. So obviously we got it taken care of now, but to get this thing to get a new one is no problem, right? Volvo wants you to obviously try to put the little backup battery, which is in the telematics module. This is the battery for it. Hopefully it's gonna zoom in there and you can see that. I don't know, can y'all see that? This is the battery for it. It looks just like this guy. Looks just like that guy. So we put a battery in it, per the service manual, because it says that these are replaceable. Obviously the battery is low. Put it in there. No dice. So what we ended up doing was getting the whole module and putting it in there. So put the whole module in. It sits right behind this glove box right here. You got everything hooked up again. Hopefully you guys can see that. Get a light situation here. It's right there. And that little cover you guys can see right there is where the battery lives. Yeah, so we put that in there. Got it all back together. Ready to program it. And I don't know how familiar you guys are with these, but the file on these for Vita can't upload it all directly, so you got to get a USB stick to put it on there. Well, I'll tell you what, these Volvo dealerships around here do not want to sell you that USB stick. They don't even know what you're talking about. Obviously, they're about as helpful as so I had to do the research on this thing, find out, just scouring the internet for this part number. Found the part number. The part number was then at some point expired, and then there's this new part number. I had to ask a tech, but I'm putting this out there, so hopefully it helps somebody out there. But this is the USB, fancy $200 USB stick that you got to use to upload from Vita onto this little guy. If any of y'all know, any Volvo techs out there know what all these little things are for, I'd be happy to know that. But here's a little USB stick right here, again with the part number on it. You take this after you've uploaded it from Vita onto that stick. You then got to go in here. And again, you're going to want to make sure the USB on the vehicle works, because that's how it uploads. And then once you do that, you plug it into here, upload from the memory stick onto here, and then it programs your telematics module. Ridiculously long and complicated process, and very unnecessary for a phone module, but or telematics module. Shoot, I was ready to kick this car because it could program everything, but you can't get all that programming through the DLC because it takes too long. So I gotta then go to there. So I'm really happy that I finally got this taken care of. The customer's gonna be pretty happy, even though all this stuff was really expensive. Phone module and all that. I'll probably eat the cost on the battery, because they're probably not going to want to take it back, but we'll see what what we do, and I'm glad to have this thing running and shoot and get it out of here. All right, so this one has the old Hyundai fuel pump issues. I got it on the charger here. All right, so this one's pretty. All right, let me see. Yeah, so we checked his fuel pump. His fuel pump gauge is reading half full. As you guys can see there, tank is bone dry. So we did a little checking here because, you know, honestly, I had my suspicions that we had issue with the cluster and that there was nothing really wrong with the fuel pump. It was just, you know, customer running out of fuel. But after some checks here, you know, I couldn't really verify that. Let me turn the key on so I can show you guys what I was doing here. You'll see there, light is on, you know, low fuel light on, and the tank is just above the E mark. All right, which we have got a decade box there. I don't know if y'all are familiar with that. Nobody really uses these things anymore, but shoot, I find them highly useful on stuff like this, where you have to do resistance checks. So Hyundai says that if you put it at 180, that's when the light is on and the fuel's at empty. Sorry, I think you guys are too zoomed in over here. So then you go to 175. I hope I'm not being too fast here. You go to 175 like that. You guys are following along with me. And the light should be going out on the dash here in a second. There, see that? Alright, so it goes off. It's just above the E mark there. Hopefully you guys can see that. And then if we go to 150, and this is ohms of resistance, guys. I don't know if you guys are familiar. There's just resistors in there. You clock it to it, it makes a little resistance path there. And then, you know, you get the subsequent change in the thing there. So that should be going to half tank any second now. The reason it takes a while is it doesn't want you to be, you know, tank sloshing around or on a hill or something like that, and you know, the gauge just jumping all over the place. So that's why it takes a little bit of time. Let me see if I can get you guys in here. There it goes. Yeah, there it goes. Let me show you guys. I should be reading just about a half tank. Yep, see that? See how it's at half tank now? So it's just a really nice way to check your cluster, make sure your cluster's good. I'm gonna make sure everything's good. Gauge works like it's supposed to. That's all she wrote. We'll just get a new fuel pump in there and shoot, put it back together. Hopefully customer has no more issues. All right, thanks guys, appreciate y'all. All right, let's see what Noah's working on here. What you working on, Noah?
Radiator and condenser.
Radiator and condenser for this poor little Suburban over here. This thing is getting the full treatment here. He came in because this module was over temp. The TCM, the TCM is over temp. So we were talking about it for a while, trying to decide which way we were going to go on it. Believe it or not, you can see how nasty this fluid is, but we did this, we did a filter. This is a new filter. Let me get this all out of the way for you. We did a new filter on this thing about 6 months ago, I want to say. Now I just filled all this up. I'm letting all this drain for the customer. Oh, sorry, for the... Ah, there you go. Just pouring it all over everything. Alright, so I was saying, we just did this filter
6 months ago, and you can see already how bad that magnet is. Look at that. So we opted to go ahead and do a whole transmission, do the lines on it, because he wants to keep this truck is in pretty darn good shape. We're here in New England, and when they don't got rust on the frame and everywhere, you know, they're worth fixing. So we're gonna do the transmission lines. These are the oil lines right here. Probably gonna hold off on them, but we're gonna do the transmission lines on it. Transmission, obviously we got a GM Reman right here. Nice little unit. Swap that out. Put his old transfer case back on there. Flush out whatever we can flush out after that. And then just go from there. We'll get him back on the road. This thing, the symptoms of this thing was after driving it for a while, it would start losing reverse, and it would start to shifting real bad. Just because it was so hot, it was cooking that oil. That's why we're doing the coolers on it, the radiator and the condenser. Because even though the fans were coming on and everything like that, it was just trying to keep it cool and not doing a good job, obviously. So, all right.
This might be interesting to some of y'all right here. This is old Subaru that we can't get a hold of no more. This is what they're sending you now, right here, which is, you can see it says made in America. They're all proud of it. They're saying it's better. There's a TSV out too, in case y'all are wondering about that. They just can't make these anymore. So I found this, which is pretty much identical, half the price, made in USA, just like this one is. Interior is identical. Just interesting. I found out. Y'all might think that's pretty cool too. All right, so we got this little Lexus IS 300. It's got a P0011 for camshaft over advanced. I got it in time here, if you can see. We got the timing marks on, so it's not going to be a timing belt issue, and it only does it intermittently, usually when it gets warmed up a little bit. So obviously I'm thinking sensor or solenoid. I got the lab scope hooked up to it, the Pico scope. Let's see. Alright, I don't know what it's doing. Oh, let's shut these off. Turn it off. Turn this guy off. Alright, and then we'll just fire it up and you'll just see we got pretty good weight for them. You see how it's surging? It's surging pretty good, and what I've noticed is that when this gets hot, I can actually activate. I wish I had caught it while it was still normal. I can go into my what I was doing was I was turning it on, and once we turned it on, it would start to do that, and then when we turned it off, it wouldn't turn off. So this solenoid for the VPT is getting stuck inside there, because earlier it was running perfectly smooth, and our hand pattern correlation was right on the money. So what we'll do here is obviously we have command of the solenoid, and the oil level is good. So what we'll do is we'll replace this VVT solenoid, and then that'll be the end of it. I just wanted to show you all one more thing that I like to check for. I mean, we obviously know what the problem is, but I like to kind of show you guys what goes on with these when they act like this. I've had a few of these happen. You see there's a little spring right here, and every time they get, you actuate them, you give
power here from the computer, or you tell it to, and this little guy will jump like that in the actuated position, and then it'll start surging real bad because you have it advanced. And then what happens is it seems like when they get hot, everything swells, or this little pintle swells up and it gets stuck in there. So when I pull them out, they're usually like that. But when you de-energize them, they're supposed to go back to that state right there. But this one, when I pulled it out, it was stuck like that. I just had to pop it over and then it clicks on. So this is what we're looking at, and this is what we'll replace. And once we do that, this thing will run like a 2G8JZ should.
All right, on this one, this poor little Nissan, we pulled her heart out. And the reason we did that was because this motor's no good. This motor is all lack of lubrication, lack of coolant, you name it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this new one on here that Murillo's working on. Say hi, Murillo.
What's up?
He's taking this, taking all the trash they cut up on it, and we're gonna swap it back on to our new one when we throw it on there. Aside from that, it's got some frame that we cut out already. We just got to clean up this right here, and we'll weld in a patch right there. Everything else looks pretty decent. Oh, and we had to do this little, the rack, one of the rack lines, not on from the rack to the pump, but on the actual rack. The only way you get these is to get a new rack, unless you want to make one. So I had a bunch of line left over, so I just made me a new one with some stainless steel braided lines. Obviously I wouldn't have used that if I didn't have any laying around, but it looks pretty slick like that. Some stainless lines on there. So we'll just finish swapping this little bad girl over, and then we'll throw her back in the Nissan. All right, that's it for this What's Up at Boudreau's. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for watching. All right, so just wanted to do a little follow-up here. We got this engine all the way in here, ready to go. Drives perfectly. We've already taken it for a test drive a couple times. Did an oil change on it, and then show you guys this frame where we welded it up here. You can't even tell. It's a little bit dirty now because we test drove it a couple times, but you can't even tell under. We got the thing all welded up where it's all strong as it should be. All right. If you clean it off there, then you can kind of see there the seam. But shoot, she's as strong as ever. All right, guys. Thanks again.